Pika! Pika! It's Pika! Hi, Pika. How are you, Pika? Hello, Pika. Pika P. Pikachu. What if people just called you Pikachu, like the whole, like your given name? You know? They were like, I don't believe in nicknames. I'm calling you Pikachu. Like the rodent, like the mouse. The electric mouse. Oh, 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 oh. Are you ready for a mystery? So with Lily, Pikachu is my given name. Hell yeah. Put that on your birth certificate. Woo, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, oh, oh. I'm very excited, everyone. I know I don't sound that high energy yet. Ooh, but just you wait, babies. I'm excited for a new case. I got a big huge thing that's dropping tomorrow that I am excited about. I am excited about it. It's gonna be real cool and beautiful, and everybody's gonna love it. No matter or else. Oh, I can't wait to see where today's every time we stop playing Ace Attorney, I'm like thinking about Ace Attorney. You know what I mean? You got to draw. I got a what? What does that word mean? Thraw? I gotta throw my energy. Throw? Throat? Goat? Stoat? Boat? I gotta sail the 7 seas? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that your coded message? D-thaw. Okay. I got it, yeah. That's alright. We got we thaw all this raw energy. What if I just touched my microphone all over? Bop, 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 bop. It's like coming through, but it's not that loud. If I'm like tapping it. Oh shoot, it's time! Ah! 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 Hello and welcome. And do you speak to text? Oh. Cozy. Ah! Ah! Hello and welcome. It is I, the boy of cats. I'm gonna, listen. I'm gonna clear my throat. We're gonna start, let's just start. I hope you're all having a lovely day. It's Thursday. What month is this? July? Is this August? No, this is August. August 17th. We're gonna be doing a good old time. Starting! Look at it back there. You just can't wait to see it. You love to see it. Alright, here we go, babies. We have a new case today. Yesterday, we finished that case. And at the end of it, we found a crown that Sholmes was being real suspicious about. But that case happened in the past. So I don't know where this case is going to take us. But there's her log right there. You sent me an email. Should I look at it now or after stream? An email? Alright, here we go. Good now with Catboy times. Hell yeah. The return of the great departed soul.
The grand end-of-the-century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park.
What about Jekyll Park?
Welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success.
Of murder, probably. That's a big fish.
But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Oh, I see.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Oh, okay. I like science. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
They're not wrong.
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world show. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Oh, this can't go. Nothing bad'll happen here.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
Nope.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled
by
a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
This man's for sure dead. He's definitely dying here. He's scampering.
In but a few moments from now.
Hello, Lila.
This gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
What? We're at the very beginning of this case. But this man's probably gonna die right now.
Yes! 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 Please! That's not what I wanted!
Oh! I'm lowering the volume back to where it's supposed to be. It's us again. Rona, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what is it, Iris? Huh, what's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper! It's full of news about that great exhibition I got. Ah, yes, the great exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very dumb. Don't you agree, Harley? Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Come on. Wah! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm gonna box your ears. I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast. Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much that I didn't even notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning. It's all, with all its unruly spikes, clearly it can be caduced, and therefore that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. He's so rude. It crossed my mind recently that it had been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Ah. Well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. We haven't gotten an answer on why yet. Don't you agree, Harley? Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. It's so dramatic. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? Seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and it's the great exhibition is open. You think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we all go say it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective, after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Harley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Let me ask some questions using the game interface. We're gonna ask about 6 months ago. Yeah, I do want to know about 6 months ago. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in trial heard at the Old Bailey. But it first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place in a London pawnbrokery. Oh, turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Oh, okay.
Well, it's failed me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord. Because he gave out government secrets. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told that I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Rono? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Miss Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court of Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's delightful, I hate him. He's not mine either, but he's a man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here. Okay, well that answers that. I didn't realize it was as simple as that. The whole of London has been swept up on this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Oh, do you mean those things? Do you mean those things fly? Yes, of course, they fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air! But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense! I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. That was a huge explosion. Everyone died. They all just perished. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of the paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. That in the court record, please. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition has been added to the court record. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Maybe. Let's see. The Crystal Tower. Let's read all about it. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go see it properly before too long. She didn't say nothing. Okay, is the whole front page? Okay, what about the back page? Oh! What? Lost cat? There's a lost cat? So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Rodo? The Reaper attacked? That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes is talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? What about this lot? I want to know about the lost cat! Whose cat is it? We have to figure it out. Okay. Yeah, baby! Alright, but your gloomy mood. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add. That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Harley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. Ah. That was a deep sigh. Is it because the Reaper was attacked? Is that it? It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barrick Van Zeeks. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. It's so intense, it's so close up. Once the Reaper has had someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks' condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait till tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps. Yeah, we gotta go and talk to the strongest. Oh, he's dressed. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, you really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Ah ha 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 ha! Well then, see you later indeed. Okay, bye. Listen to him, he's still laughing on his way out the door. Whoa! Alright then, Rhoda, let's get going! Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got chains to go to the Great Exhibition. You're gonna take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that sounds fun, too. You're gonna take me there, then. Or I'll shoot you. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course, and after the Supreme Court, then we're gonna see the Great Exhibition! Okay. Let's go. A new location has been added. What should I make for breakfast tomorrow? Why don't I surprise you, Runo? Why does it say that? I think a visit to this place could be a good idea. She has so many things to say about everywhere. That's interesting. Gotta talk to Lord Strongheart. He's got birds that live here. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. Some things never change, like the sense of whatever. I skipped it. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. Oh, yeah, I changed her outfit. So now it shows this outfit as her old outfit. The game, it has, like, I don't know if they were originally DLC or what, but, like, it had 3 alternate outfits for Ryunosuke, her, and Sholmes, but I only swapped hers because the other 2, like, I didn't like them as much. But hers is cute. Tasato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan.
Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me.
It's been so long since I've voiced him. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well.
Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies.
Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. All right.
Good to know.
To know doesn't appear to bother him at all. He's a very serious man. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status.
As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium.
Oh, I've not heard about that.
Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others wait for my attention as a result, so be it.
Well, it's nice to know where I stand.
Boop. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about.
Thank you for agreeing to meet to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Bruno! Just take a deep breath and come out with it!
Okay. Let's talk to you. I actually came here today to ask for your permission.
Go on.
6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes? Here it comes.
I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role.
Well, that's true. Japanese government actually sent my best friend, we're just friends, on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. And then he died. A tragic accident hadn't happened. I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Askew is my best friend. We were just friends, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him.
his calling, you say. Has it ever occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling?
Sorry?
The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was?
What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense.
Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and having been studiously obeying your revised instructions.
Do you mean...
As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain.
Interesting. Thank you! Thank you so much! That's wonderful news right now!
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope.
Of course, please tell me more. A curious affair, tell me all about it, baby. You described it as a curious affair?
Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday?
Oh, no.
Yes, I read all about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me say, how is it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous kinesis? As in, moving things with a click of the fingers?
That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need, a dash of devil-may-care.
Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination.
It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. Oh! A certain Mr.
Odie Asman. Odie Assman. He likes bottoms! Anyways.
A certain Mr. Odie Asman.
Is it what? What's that pun? I don't understand the pun. Odie Asman? Odie Asman? I don't know.
An investor and a well-known figure in society.
Large explosion.
A man died?
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor
Albert Hairbrain?
He was I cannot. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder.
What? Murder?
If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation.
Great exhibition? Scientific experiment gone wrong and murder? I feel out of my depth before I've even started, still.
We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think?
Definitely.
Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper.
Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks? How?
Crimson, hello!
Maybe. She's at work, though, Crimson.
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium.
It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it?
Exactly!
Ah!
London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate, though it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible.
Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it?
Exactly, the future of policing.
Ah! Get scared of the birds.
Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods.
Oh dear, that's alarming.
Exactly! It's extremely alarming.
Ah! Come on.
He's so serious, Crimson. He keeps scaring Iris. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for
Lila.
By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. Wait. It all began 15 years ago. Oh, look at him. No!
Earthbound fan, good morning. Hello.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Eyes glossed over. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter, in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission.
Oh, right, yes, that's wonderful.
Exactly, wonderful is precisely what it will be.
Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. She is a 10-year-old child.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Do I need to... I guess I'll just go to the prison. Let's go to the prison, the flashback arc. Oh, look at him. He's so German, I guess. The warden said cell 11. It's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain? Wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain. Oh, we're gonna give this guy the nerdiest voice ever? Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Yonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fence fuller.
A lawyer?
Ah! Was it something I said?
A lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't...
Yesterday's demonstration! The demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity.
Oh, it's a bot. Windy Squad, you're a bot. Sorry. Oh. Hey, thanks, Pika.
No one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity.
No bots allowed. Except for the good bots. Sari bot is allowed. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. He looks like, I don't know what it is about this face. He kind of looks like a Vash the Stampede, but, like, with, like, an afro. You know what I mean? Like, not, like, really, but, like, he's kind of got that vibe. Or, like, a Spike Spiegel with blonde hair or something. But nerdy. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't they? Oh, yes, you can interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You've lost me.
I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asmund was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, it should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asmund in fact perished.
Oh, that's me. That's Renosuke.
Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure.
So what you're saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asmund was an accident, correct?
But the Penguins had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
Oh, he's Ingy.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. But... Murder? Never in a million years. It wasn't an accident. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds?
Yes, it's newly established here in Britain, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
Reminds me of Mirror B. From Pokemon Gale of Darkness, I don't know about that one. That one passed me by. Which one? Was that like an off? What game? What is that? Pokemon XD. Oh, is that the show? Oh, wait a minute. But if the case is treated as murder...
They'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My president's hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial.
Ah, I see now. What an interesting case. What an interesting, like, setup, you know? So, in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday.
Yes! Or rather, no. The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion.
It's a game? What system is it for? Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating.
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis.
GameCube. Oh. Gosh, that's imaginably high-level science. Unimaginably. Oh, look at him dance.
Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again.
Well, yes, that would be incredible.
And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be in a great Parisian theater set. The possibilities are endless, and the whole of our vast planet would be within reach.
No more hiding in wardrobes or rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really say it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk.
My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops, that got Professor Bunnybrain really worried about the look of it. Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose.
The point is, my calculations are flawless as science works. But without a particle demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Harley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman.
The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean?
The victim.
The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman. I don't get this joke. The Odie is man? I don't know. What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thank my lucky stars.
I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Oh, really?
An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research for the British government.
This is the case I'm on. Yo, hell yeah. No spoilers, of course.
Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life.
Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying.
Do I need to give him something?
How could this have happened? Hey, that's alright. You have a good time, Earthbound fan. Just play the game, though, also. Play it fastly, quickly. You must feel awful, as well as a man losing his life. The Crystal Tower is greatly damaged, too. I know what happened. I must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too. 3 shillings too much and change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Okay, wait. He's very nervous, Lila, yeah. Ah, fascinating, yes. In Japan, where I come from, it's a symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there is a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Oh, really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrists. That's what you call logical, is it? Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, neither of those things. Okay, I guess we'll just go check out the... What am I to do? I feel like I've missed something. Hold on. Let's just go to all the let's go back here. Maybe I need to... This didn't feel like I finished it. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? I needed to ask him about this. I forgot. The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you.
B, hello, how are you? Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know.
Very well. If it interests you.
It does, strangely.
Okay, here we go. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed.
You're good? Hell yeah. Very sunburned. Uh-oh, what were you doing?
Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter.
But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know?
It's relevant to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes.
Large sums of money?
A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday.
But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reapers, surely?
The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asmund. Oh, Asmund! Odie Asmund!
Wait a minute. Did you just say Asmund? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition!
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality the head of a significant criminal organization.
Oh my god.
Remember this marching band rehearsal? You forgot to wear sunscreen. Man, that's hard. I never remember that either.
You gotta work today. No!
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart?
Try me.
Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court and then meet with a mysterious end outside the courtroom. fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here.
No, B, I'm sorry.
I have Van Zieks working for the prosecution service for 2 reasons.
Ow!
Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. Secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him.
That doesn't make any sense. How can you explain the ways so many have died if not by someone's hand?
Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course.
The Crown.
There we go. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget.
11 hours late? That's quite something.
That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. The lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man.
Sure, it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zieks now?
I would assume he's at his office.
Right, I'll go ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. And Van Zieks is a horse.
Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands.
Of course, yes. Thank you so much, my lord.
Bye-bye. Okay. Alright, now we'll go talk to Van Zieks. We've never, like, talked to him, like, in front to front. Wait, that's not him up there! Gonna need that in fan art form. A Van Zieks horse. Oh my god. Star's not here. Star might do it. Star loves the meme. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office?
Yes, it appears so.
Oh, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that...
No.
That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is.
What are you doing? I'm just gonna assume it's him. What are you doing here?
Ah! Yeah, hello there. Look at him from front!
He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well.
I am.
So, who's the person over there by the wall being punished for something or other?
No punishment is taking place here.
Oh.
That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will.
I didn't know you had an apprentice. Oh, that's who they are. Must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper.
He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage.
Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers?
The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
It's the judge. Alright, what's up, baby? Tell me all of it.
Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack?
True. Carried out by the henchmen of Odiasman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrest were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened.
Odiasman.
He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court. Didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death.
I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Say that 5 times fast.
Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you?
Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this has worked out. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Ronald? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
Albert. Albert Hairbrain.
It's not his name. Wait, Albert? Is that his name? Oh, I guess it is. Do you know him by chance?
Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're... What?
Your contemporary.
I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though.
Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all.
You were students together.
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing it.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Only if I could make it out of this... Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as though you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
Then why would you do this? If the raper is a prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. That's... But I've done it so many times. What's Lord Van Ziek's thinking?
The Reaper's identity.
What do you mean by what you said before? You'd like to know the Reaper's true identity. Does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not all true. That's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch after all. At all. Nor was Jenny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn, but the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It was not my work.
Lord Strongheart said, Sharky, hello! Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes that you're not involved in any way. But you are attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true!
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
You mean to say...
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide.
Lord Van Zieks, you're being crazy. You're banana sandwiches over here. Okay, but that's not... Okay, now we can examine some stuff, maybe. Examine his little room with his chessboard that doesn't have all the pieces on it. Lord Van Zieks' desk, look, it's so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess? That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zieks sometime. Do a bout of shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at home, at your own at home. Okay. That's a whole situation. Oh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps they made him to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person.
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket.
Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid.
Ah!
Your Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
I really didn't think he'd overhear that. How embarrassing. We're idiots. Is that him up there? Come on. That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Come on! It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeek's facial features. Interesting. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
We're all being stupid. Oh, then who is it? Oh, maybe I can talk to him about it. Alright, what about you, bud? Hello. There's bats over there! Really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Runa, we wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us. It's not that! What about these bats? Ah! Ah! They were bats! Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. It must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Okay, let's, converse. Oh, really? We don't get to know? Maybe I can present you with something. Lord Van Zeek's about this article in the paper.
Ah, yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. He was careless of me.
Doesn't really look like him. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
There's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Yeah! Hell yeah.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Rodau. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask.
On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity.
Oh, Haruka, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Or indeed his identity.
But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again.
Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well this fine Thursday.
He's not one for meaningless follies. There would be a good reason for his actions.
I hope you're right. Oh, bye-bye. Oh, hello. That's the Hand of the Crown. This is Game of Thrones. Ah! A steak! Thank you.
Is your task complete? Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
He nods, says nothing. Is that Phoenix right? Nice to meet you? Bye. Back to work again. That was really strange, though.
Mysterious.
Never met the man before. I didn't know he existed, and yet somehow I didn't feel like it was our first encounter. Interesting.
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, I see.
Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway?
Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Wait a minute. Ooh. I don't know.
Ah, yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry?
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop and the mustache and the jitters.
Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out that you identified him from that list right now. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you?
There better be a big reveal. I'm sure there will be. I feel like it's really cool that this is a 2-game story. Like, if you didn't play the first game, like, you're not gonna really have a great time with this game, you know? like it all comes together.
There's little time before tomorrow's trial. I advise you spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. Can't believe he's asking after Tsuseki-san, after a Nipponese. Not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Raper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? Uchen, hello! Yo, it's going great. She's wearing a weird outfit. You know. It's a turn up for the books. Keep saying I need to play Ace Attorney, but I still haven't. Man, it's so good. Mad scientist? Oh, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think. Okay, bye-bye. Going back to the present, baby. The whole trilogy on my Switch. Steam just had a big visual novel sale, and I didn't pick up anything, but there was a lot of stuff I was looking for. This guy just looks so familiar. I don't really know what it is. He looks really familiar to me. The Reaper's varsity years. I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days? What was this guy's voice? Yes, no, he was nerdy. He was like, yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really. Bob Ross with blonde. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barak Van Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runau. As I said, as unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he was a little darling of the Van Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origin. The voices are too good, thank you, B. I didn't realize he had such quite such noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Ripper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Right? What side of it? Oh! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. He's heard about all about the Reaper. Really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in tomorrow's court hearing place. The courtroom. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. That huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor of your work. Hydrate! You got it. As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. Whoa, I'm a man of science, that's all I know. You gotta believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Hey, you're welcome. All right, Rado. It's time. Time to the great exhibition. Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate it last. Okay, bye. Bye. See you later. Let's go to the experimentation stage. Here we go. Huh. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. I've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs now. The throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Ooh! What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Oh, it's her! Yay! Rod, I've had it up with you. I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh, yeah? Go. Oh, her voice was so difficult, but I love doing it. Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. She's so cute. I love her so much. Yahoo! Gregsy, what are you doing up there? What has she got? She's got little charms here. They're 2 little... No, stop. It's their little rabbits. But one is Herlock and one is her. Oh, come on. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm saving this. Hold on a sec. Fries of those fries did not fall out at all. They're magic. That's so precious. I don't know if I yeah, no, there you can see it right there. They're little rabbits. Oh, come on. Oh, I love that so much. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, the best. What are you doing up there? Oh, he loves her. She's the writer. Ah! Ah! It's you, here. You here. You are here. You are. You here. Your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? So silly. I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour count. Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely, or there should be. Watch it, sunshine! Sorry, I was thinking too loudly. The speed of how he changed his attitude is so quick! What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate! Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob, is that all you got? Oh, I love her! She got a hat now. Maybe she always had that hat. I feel like this is a different hat and coat than she used to have. You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Nora. Oh, no. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob! This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. Especially moving the coin, it's so good. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. This is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, eh? Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat now, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People could change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. Whoa! So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Wow!
Wait, wait, Inspector Lestrade? Hold on a sec. Isn't that a Sherlock Holmes thing? Yeah, it is. Oh. Oh, that's so funny. I never put that together. Inspector Lestrade's oh, that's funny. Inspector? The badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls it that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, the number was 999. Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions. Our hair is so cute. She got that little braid that goes down. Forget about it. She's so sassy. I love her. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. Yeah, she used to have a different hat. At the time, at the very least. I think the hat and the coat are different. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Don't forget the plot.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Jenny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change. What does that mean?
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Jenny, you're so sweet.
Her dad's dead, though, unfortunately.
So anyway, that's how I had to go. That's how come I had to go with the test for Scotland Yard.
Hydrate, thank you.
Only trouble is I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious. Ugh.
And that's when Harley approached Gregson and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Jenny and made her sort of an apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson and brave.
Well, you know Harley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
Great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and the short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Oh, I love her. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what, Bruno, what?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was a defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't half worry, Odo.
I didn't half worry. There probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told. Look at her, she's so happy. Look at I told you before. The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs. He knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly! I ain't worried! I'm totally fine! God was out of this world, what it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went boop! I ain't seen a better experiment here yet!
Sorry?
You mean you saw Jenny with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. It's gonna take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above.
No, you're so lucky, Jedi. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard, too.
Ah, yeah, do it! You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all.
And it's settled. When do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. Well, say, anyway! What I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how could Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success?
Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way.
It was? How could it have been?
Successful experiment?
Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there.
What? In the tower? Oh.
Interesting.
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, where all the glasses broken, you mean?
Yeah, the cage what the victim got in start with.
What?
Really did get beamed through the air or whatever, and landed all the way over there. So you say it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and the outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science! Or I'll tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I've had 3 bob off you so fast, fam.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Sketch of the experiment, I have it in my possession. Let's look at it right now. What an experiment, wow. It's aimed like up. Kind of working. Catapulting someone to their death. Okay. Well, sure. What Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself.
Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. We were representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
No, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from their lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander on the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair!
I think you were giving it as much as an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to an Omo, go on, let's go see if you can get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Rana? Gregsy will listen to us! Okay, yeah, let's try it. Oh. Okay. Can I, like, examine the stairs? These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment's being conducted. Oh, okay, dope. I do love his fish and chips. It's just chips. There's no fish. It's just chips. That's a big beam, alright, baby. So that's it, isn't it? The machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end up in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very... Oh, shoot. Wait. Explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time, he made something that exploded with such a force it took the roof off that building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, it's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Yeah, but... Ah, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something. Really? He just looks confused to me. Let's examine everything but Gregson. Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. Someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air? Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Rono, I'm just a child. How should I know? Child when it suits you, you mean? But from what I can tell, I think if you were to pull on this lever here... Stop! Don't touch that! Ha ha ha! That was practically instantaneous kinesis, the way you just flew over just now, Gregsy! Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Oh, he does love it. Glug, 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 glug. And then he's like a happy little child. Ah, wonderful! This stuff really is wonderful. Just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ah, listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. SDSEA. That doesn't stand for anything. Oh yes, the Special Dispensation. Professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're just allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Surely that's alright, isn't that, Gregsy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please, don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry! We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Rono? She really knows how to get what she wants. Look at the thing back there. The Ferris wheel is actually moving. That's fun. I love that. Very slowly. Pepper the Protogen, if you are new to stream, hello, also, if you are new to stream, I would love to know a few things about you. I would love to know your favorite food. I would love to know your favorite cute thing, and I would love to know your pronouns. And if you are wondering, hey, Comfy Catboy, what are your pronouns? Well, there you have it. Alright, let's talk to him. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. Gets me every time, I'm glad. True, but it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. Ow! They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. The powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on the scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Swedish meatballs, cute protogens, he, him. Hell yeah! Well, welcome in. Which is the infuriating reason that us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Ah! Because the new highfalutin special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are for some brand new departments at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. Forensic Investigation Team? Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, You can't do a flaming thing with it. You're Swedish. Oh. Is it nice there? Do you like it there? Poor Gregsy, he's very hat up, isn't he? I don't know what that means. Special dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Have you been having at me, Sunshine? It's a special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, I think Harley mentioned that recently. It's with a real twinkle in his eyes, if I remember. School starts Monday. Oh, man. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas and inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Like me. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers, boguses, contraptions. I played a lot of the Ace Attorney games, yeah. Almost all of them, but not all. I haven't played one of the ones that's in the new, the Apollo Justice ones that's coming out. It's like the third game in that trilogy I haven't played. And I haven't played the one with Professor Layton, unfortunately. But I would love to. But I think I've played with this now. Oh, I also haven't played the second Edgeworth game. Because it wasn't released here and I never played the fan translation of it. But those two games, oh baby, I would love to see them remade. I don't know that they will be, but I would love that. I would pay $40 American to buy those games. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's broad ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Scientists get funding. Exactly. And that's what they're all after all these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, huh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. Favorite character is Von Karma. He's very upsetting. So can you see what I say now, can't you? Hang science, hang it. Oh, maybe I can say our point. Wait. Thank you for the little bits also. Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany. This is a weird sentence. Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany, now conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain especially for the great exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education, it turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zieks. Eh? What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zieks mans the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed, because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking to Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? The mystery of the Reaper. The victim of this case, the inspector, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Barrack von Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. G'day, Pepper! Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal a deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we've reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery, after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrained mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. You what? He said it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go over there and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Alright, let's examine some stuff. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrained was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, yeah? I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people, like the professor claims? He acts looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, I mean. Exactly, the annoying, obstructive, flaming rules. Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. Well, Gregsy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. I'm really very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Spatting fonts. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But right off found it first. I assure you we'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. Ha! That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy. Wait, he left. Oh my god. Can I touch stuff now? Is there more? No, it's just the screen. Ferris wheel. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins, you can say. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still, doesn't it? That's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? I feel as though you might have to just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. He invented roller coasters. Oh, I can look up. I see. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think I was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. I suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Balloons. Whoa! A fake Catboy. Does this count as a femboy? No, I'm a Catboy. But hello, welcome. How are you? They're different things. So those are people carrying balloons dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly, but I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful floating Tamari handballs. Hey, there's a whole Twitch if you want a femboy.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Rona, please. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared. Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. Then one explodes, like, immediately. Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Okay. So that feels like it. But that, I don't think that's right. Oh, what's that? There are all sorts of things. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Runo? I do wish I could go see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some... Oh, God. Some master ninjas. I don't know what that word is. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well, that's dull. Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chon Mage top knot I could introduce you to. A Chon Mage, really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do you? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago, yes. Uh-oh, he hasn't. We know that he hasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not allowed to, like, look at very many things. Maybe I leave. It just doesn't feel like I'm done here, but I don't see anything else to look at. Okay, well, let's, oh, he's still here. Oh, well, okay. Maybe I need to present him with some stuff. As a detective, what do you make of this? Oh, this is nothing. He's not allowed to look at that. Inspector, have you read this paper? Yeah, 2 unwelcome blasts back to back. This one at the exhibition and a Reaper getting attacked. I know, terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? Tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was laid up and I got a roasting from the super. More mornings are like that, aren't they? Some mornings are like that. Okay, well. I guess we leave. But... Oh, well... Okay, wait. Should I... Can I... How do I, like, leave? How do I go back downstairs? I want to talk to... What's her Chuck? Okay, maybe I'll go to the prison. Hey, Star... Oh. He's gone. Can't talk to him right now. Let's go back here. Maybe we'll start at the bottom. What about Sholmes? I don't know where Sholmes went. Okay, not here. And talk to her. What to do? I'm so excited about the prospect of blah, 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 blah. I don't think this is what I need to do right now. I'm going to keep it ready for Mrs. Sato in case she showed up again. Alright, hold on. Hold on. It's so dirty. It's just so dirty. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This is a big ol' thing. Yeah, I feel like I,
Okay, I think there's more to do here, is what it looks like. So let's, okay, we need to explore down here is what's going on. I went immediately up there, so what's this?
Oh, look, what's this? A ripped up piece of cloth. Cozy.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. Very thick and stiff, it looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's midi on.
Okay. Are you on a break-a-do, Cozy? For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably won't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back right now.
Break time! Whatever this is.
Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here.
Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Captain Jellyfish, hello, welcome. How are you? Maybe it could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. The mysterious contraption. We just stole it. Okay, yeah, okay, I see. We have to look at a lot of things. Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. Doing good, just realized that you had a Twitch, so I wanted to hop over and say hi.
Hell yeah, hello and welcome.
I stream a few days a week doing, like, visual novel type stuff. Things that make me happy and not things that, you know, are gonna, like, be that exciting. But I like it. Hello, hello.
There are a lot of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue up for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Tower. I hope you're doing well, Jelly.
Boop, 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 boop. Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above and stuck. But there's a 3-hour queue to go open a balloon now.
Well, there just must be very patient people. Okay. So I think we can like look up now and kind of see about all this. Voice acting's fun. So I don't know, it's nice to have some games outside of the main. Yeah, yeah, it's like I just want to get through games like this, and that's what we do. Wednesdays and Thursdays usually. Yeah. Might go lurk. Hell yeah, it's very lovely to see you. That's where the wait, yeah, Gina. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever they call it, dead of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
What's the wooden scaffold there for? Or what's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers all lads set up that after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really.
Fast work. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah, look out, dirty small my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. Good enough. Incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Probably not. Okay, we've looked at everything now.
Roto, listen!
What is it?
I've been thinking. Hurley might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Raper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
This is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket?
Adam. Tuss spells. Is this supposed to mean something for me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We should go now if you like. Oh, no, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Harley is. What? At the popular London attraction? Yes! How is that? How is it that you know where he is? Harley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Rona. Adam Tuss spells. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. You should do both, Crimson. All. But the Sorceress Village arc is a little more exciting. Alright, baby. Let's go see a fortune teller. Whoa! Whoa! Ah! What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes, but why are all the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Rhoda? Shocked. Wax models? Ah! What? I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. What? It's called a dip... What? I don't know what that word is. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Rudo. You're scaring me. Anyway, that word doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in very... Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits in here are real. Calm down. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Ow. There's no way anyone could make models of people that are this realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Sholmes is right behind me. Wait. What is it? Oh, no. I must be seeing things. Oh, there's a hand. That's a hand. That's a hand. Is that an arm? Looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over. You don't think it'd be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Rhoda, stop scaring me! Is it a wax arm or a real one? Let's go shake it. Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection! Objection! The big heavy curtain is very prominent. The big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I've got a nasty feeling that there's gonna be something truly terrifying behind it. Oh yes, that's the famous Tuss Spells special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look? Pay more money to be even more terrified? Oh, let me think about that for a moment. It was only a suggestion. Back to the darkness. I love you too, Cozy. That scarf looks very familiar. Models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people, and when it's closing time, all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving them out. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. Come on. It's the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here, really? No. He doesn't. Well, he is world famous after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it. I know, I have a weird feeling it's an actual hand. Me too. But look, Ronnie, you can kick this Harley and it doesn't move a muscle. Kick can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Oh, he's in pain. Wait. it just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either. Really? Did it? Look closely. There are beads of sweat on his face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
My dear fellow, I take exception to you recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you by divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick, could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. But Rhoda has something he needs to ask out. Ah, question. And I thought you'd probably be getting bored, too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would muddle turn to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Me? Oh, Halle, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? He does like to do that. You could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? Well, you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. If my eyes don't deceive me, I do believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. Whose man is this? A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What do you mean? What, back to being a temporary waxwork museum exhibit? Well, okay, I'll just go look at more stuff. Is this example of Western Tsujigiri? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword. Oh, I still don't know. No, that's messed up. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be largely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Runo? Doing that, Tsujigiri thing you mentioned? Well, I do have a sword, but I've no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong? No, it's just in Japanese. We have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like don't you do it. Don't you call it a step ladder. We do it in English too, you know. It's a step ladder. No! I was just talking about this. Emmy, hello. Welcome, welcome. How are you? There in like every game, except for in like all the, I was just talking about this yesterday. There is an ongoing joke about a ladder. No, just kidding. A step ladder, and it's nothing. It is nothing, and they do it in every game. It's so funny. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures, Runo. That's how wars are started. I didn't realize stepladders were an international point of contention, but the writer makes an astute point. The writer. Come on. Okay. These are cute. I like the look of these. Is this some famous, infamous murderer? Yes, called Jane the Ripper. Come on. All her victims were young women. I knew it. You can't tell me the way she's holding that knife. It's a sure sign of a murderer. Well, yes. What's the matter? Run out. I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. Doesn't mention anything about that bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. I still think it has to be there for a reason.
Found you on TikTok a while back, and you popped on the recommended. Hell yeah! Very lovely to see you. Thank you for crossing the internet sea, as it were. Hell yeah! If you, I have let me just, for what it's worth, I'm all over the internet. I have a bunch of YouTube channels and stuff. If you like what I do, you might like those too. I want to look in the bathtub. Can we just have a bath? Can we just take a bath? All of us, chat, one and all. We'll just take a big old bath. Okay, is it the hand, though? Is it this man? I didn't look at this guy. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. It's about how Hurley gets away with making himself a temporary exhibit for the day. Maybe there are other people posing as exhibits in here, then. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people! And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home... Oh, she already did all this. But that was new. It was different. Abby with the follow. Thank you so much. And now you are a part of the Mew crew. Maybe I need to talk to Sholmes now? Oh, okay. Okay. What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. Excuse me. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the side of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of the several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all around the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum, by quite some margin, is this House of Horrors. A House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of these miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. That's true. That's accurate. So, the hideous exhibits in here are... They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? He's so why is he so nervous about this? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! You really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Holly, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is this just me, or does his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Something to ask you, baby, baby, baby. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks.
Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust.
And I told him everything. So I filled in Mr. Sholmes about all the bullshit. About all of it. Just every part of it.
So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Ziek such a different person. I was sure that you'd know, Harley. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the... Greetings. Who's this? Ah! Oh, she's a witch! I love her. I love witches. Are you kidding? Ah, hello. Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Does she look any more mysterious? Oh, I love her! What the heck? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again. My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspels. Esmeralda I mean, it's just like a witchy name. This is my museum of waxwork. Sylvia Lockhart, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you? Pretty lady, pretty witchy lady. What, you're the Madame Tuspels? Monsieur, though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I am a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Should I do it like a French? I don't really have a good French accent. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was be a great detective, but he seems unable to set. Oh, she got a big braid even? The next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious! That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zieks now? Let's not forget what Harley said before about something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but... I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Please be prominent to this case, I swear. I want more of you in this game, lady. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels? I did. I am the 3rd generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution. So that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeliness. All these waxworks really do is look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Harley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeliness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. The exhibits are a reflection of society. They create only that which the public wishes to see. Couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? The public loves horror. Do not fear. Sorry. This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased her into things. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Words to that effect. Ah,
Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. He is the creme de la creme, so I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh, words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. It must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Something afoot, what's afoot, baby? Tell me what afoot is. I wonder, could I ask you something? Monsieur, I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... Ah! Your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Wait. Oh, that was him. There you are! Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madam Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage in my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the Tuspel special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolute none. There is nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madame? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah! I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. What is the situation, though? Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only as... I don't know what that word is. I don't know how to say that letter. What's behind the curtain? Please tell me. Number 139. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. Tuspel's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however... Oh, it's that guy. Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. We know him. I don't remember why. He was from the first game. Well, well, then, perhaps, Mr. Sholmes. That man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why? Why would you say that? And the second
is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
Ah! She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand.
So, Madam Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Oh, do we get to do a thing? Yeah! Great deduction, the game is afoot. Hell yeah!
Oh, I love it.
Waxworks fate! To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madam Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale, your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece to your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds. No! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor?
He was in like the first case we did or something.
It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock. The cause of which is clearly known by you, to you. Ah. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in his special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Sold for cash. Waxwork location.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is this young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
This man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
But
next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
Ah, but you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. 4p is a tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks.
Those two are real.
And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. Sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not...
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Alright, none of that made any sense. Sholmes, you idiot. You stupid.
Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
Excuse me.
I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Harley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman? So, that would mean that he's a particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman, Otter Mole.
Sorry?
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, the senior officer by the name of Otter Mole.
So you mean that's who the sinister old man there is supposed to be?
Indeed, it's a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well.
But is the 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model?
It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective.
So, it is quite a lot, then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down? The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
Ah, the smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right. Make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's all right. We'll set things straight.
All right, let's get started then, shall we? Or Madame Tussbells vents her anger.
Just what I was wanting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tussbells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
We gotta fix your garbage, baby, baby. Excuse me.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
This is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tussbells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice.
She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. But I'm not so sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds.
Oh? She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Oh, over and above the wax.
If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. Oh, she said that. That much money, I would, but it sounds like that makes me a bad person.
Well, anyway,
I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that can explain it.
Oh. Note on the wall.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tussbells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. Price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October.
What?
It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone's kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly.
Take that! Take it! Yeah!
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note.
Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. Ah! 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I can put together all the money I have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money.
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented.
Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds.
I don't know.
So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? We can just ask him when it comes round. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tussbells trying to hide? We have to have a closer look. We can really go in every direction, can't we? There's something behind her. It's a hand! Wait a minute. Hand of Madame.
This is just Madame Tussbells' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is the left hand as well, look.
It's like way too big also. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stuffed up. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax? I mean, we can see her, like, holding it. There, I mean...
Take that!
Take it! Woo, baby!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand. Ah! And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Ah!
It's a whole arm.
Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, the gentleman saw fit to try and remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake.
Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I am afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result?
And the result, the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. For the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
Ooh, baby. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly...
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign that to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tussbells' reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Is this the stat? Yeah, that's a statue. Okay.
What the? This man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be. Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course, that ties up with what we just found out. Presenting
Take that!
the shoulder, baby, baby.
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth, of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds a waxwork model.
I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally, what other explanation could there be?
And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage.
This guy's gonna be real.
I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the price tag.
A policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what it looks like. It's a very low price, though. 3p isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garridim's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds?
Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps I should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
It's very clearly the price tag of the scarf. I mean... Oh, he's twitching.
Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy.
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that. The point is, waxworks don't tap their feet. Or twitch. And look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Yeah. Arm? Oh. I don't believe it. It's a secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway. Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed.
I must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
Or a detective disguised as a waxworks model of a policeman.
It doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris.
Take that!
I mean... The Twitch! I'm out of water. No, I'm out of tea. I do have water. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch.
Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard.
Just a slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. He's so done with him.
And there you have it. Well, Madam Tuspels?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3p?
No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm? Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because as you know, there has just been such a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. Yeah! The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Hairlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
Deduction complete. Elementary.
All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Kill them. Anyway. Woo! She's so cute. Stop. I love her. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. She's fine with it.
It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display. If that was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically, it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish.
Tell me everything you know.
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here.
Is it your most prominent? It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
Hence I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
Blood, hello! How are you? So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose?
Blood, I love you. Hehe. I hope you're well. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor.
Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
Whoa! Flute! How did these get here? How do I hold all these bits? Thank you, that's so sweet. Wolf, hello, how are you? Woohoo! Yes, at exactly the same time. That Barak Van Zeeks graduated from university, in fact.
What? Surely he's not saying.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life? As you've surmised, it was the Professor case.
Who was this Professor, then?
The Professor.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is all of this related to Lord Van Zeeks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it was that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, Harley? Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration.
Members of the... Ah, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family of noble blood.
Oh, gosh! It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zeeks.
No, I don't believe it. Van Zeeks?
You have a hearing impairing in Rianosuke. I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually, he became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic past.
Well, I'm afraid I can't say much on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit.
I am afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you.
Wow.
Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involving you coming here to visit me. Oh, what? Who's this? Oh.
It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself to what happened to Mr. Asmund. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
Tomorrow the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me even he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barrock, are you really?
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barrock.
Till tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Wow. To be continued! That was a pretty good little run.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, baby. Hell yeah. So good.
All right, I know some of you just got here, but that's where we're going to end it for today. That was a big chunky investigation part. Oh, baby. I'm sorry, Flute. I always start 2.5 hours ago from now. Let's boo-boo. And then we go until we hit a good endpoint, typically. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. We're gonna find somebody to raid, but in the meantime, or actually first, I do have a little announcement. So I have a big announcement tomorrow. So if you are not following me on, hold on. Let's get out of here. Don't save. We're not saving. No, I just saved. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna play some. Tomorrow I have a big announcement. So if you are not following me on Twitter, I would highly advise that you do. And then additionally on Saturday at 9 a.m. West Coast American time, we are I'm gonna be hosting over on my editing YouTube channel another editing workshop. So if you have shorts that you want me to workshop live on stream, check out my Twitter, and there is a post where I'm having people post them. And I would highly recommend that you do that, because it's gonna be so much fun, baby. Okay, so, I have my card, the one-stop shop to all things Comfy Catboy. If you want to find me, and it's just got all my socials and everything. I would love to see you there. We also have, the link to the Discord. It's a beautiful place full of lovely people. And I'd love to see you there as well, babies. We're gonna raid Augen, I think. Augen. They are playing Celeste. Celeste is really cool. And then I already just posted my YouTube links. But yeah, so that is all the things. Here we go. I hope you all had a good time today. If you are a subscriber, you can copy and paste this message. And if you're not a subscriber, you can do the one Sharky put. But if you're not a subscriber, hey, give it a think if you like. If not, it's no big deal. I love you all. Have a lovely rest of your day. And I hope to see some of you on Saturday for a big old YouTube stream. Boo, 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 boo. Goodbye. I love you. Boo, 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 boo.